This is Prowler in the packaging. And this is the back of the card art. And going to open this up and continue the review. This is the Prowler out of the packaging. Prowler comes with the right foot of the Build-A-Figure lizard, and this is a separate review, and it takes 7 parts to complete. And let's take a look at it. Prowler here, known as Hobby Brown, is a long-time Spider-Man ally from the comic books, even though he started out as a misguided villain. And he was created by Stan Lee and John Romita Sr. with a little help from John Romita Jr. as well. And check this out. This is the classic Prowler costume from the comic books, not the modern take, thankfully. And that's right, in the comics, he has no superpowers but gadgets. One thing people might not like on this figure is how the cape, it just loosely hangs over the figure. But what they did that was kind of nice, Hasbro, is they painted the neck area here. So if you put the cape on, it would look odd if this was green over here by the neck area. So by adding the paint there, it adds that illusion. But you do have to pose the cape just right, because the cape is actually almost as long and a little bit longer than the feet, the bottom of the feet. So it either just sits on the floor or you hang back the cape a little bit. But the only odd costume detail is, you see the mask here, it's black and white and the purple here, but there's always supposed to be like a little black stripe in the middle in the comics, and surprisingly they didn't paint it on, that black stripe. So it's kind of odd it's missing that little detail. But this looks really nice and detailed. He wears these gauntlet wrist devices for his powers, gas pellets, cables, and stuff like that. It's a loose piece, but it poses well. And he does have claw-like hands that he could hold on to walls and stuff. So the claw pose here, nicely done. The belt is a loose piece. This is painted on, it's not sculpt detailing. The very odd thing here, and the hardest part of the figure to pose, is these. The ankle bracelets, gauntlet things that he wears, they fall down easy, but you really, despite trying my best, you really can't get these up to the boot top here, where if it covered up the boot top ideally. But this is about as high as it goes in terms of getting it right. So there's a little gap. It's very tough to get it higher, if even possible here. So I think it's supposed to be all the way at the very top. So it's very tough. Kind of unfortunate that this is so tightly made that it should cover up here ideally, but it's just very tough to get it any more higher than that. But they did get the costume details right. It's a basic costume, some design work, even though the cape is a reused part. Surprisingly, it took all of these years, from Toy Biz to Hasbro, for Prowler to finally get a Marvel Legends action figure. It is about 6.5 inches tall. And let's take a look at the articulation. The head on a ball joint can go down, up good range, to the sides. Shoulder area, ball jointed, in or out, up or down, swivel bicep, double articulation at the elbow area. Nothing at the forearms, but the wrist can go in, out, and you can spin it around. He has a claw-like open hand. Same here. upper body ab crunch, go down, up, swivel waist, ball jointed at the hip area, side to side, up and down, swivel thighs, double articulation at the knee area, at the calf, right at the boot top, and the ankles on a ball joint, up, down to the sides. And so that's the Prowler action figure, and I'm going to give my final thoughts about it in a moment. Overall, this Prowler action figure, really nice. I'm surprised that they finally got around to making the character, as he's been a 1960s long time both villain originally and ally of Spider-Man, and they at least did use this classic costume design and not the more modern take that they've had in comic books recently. And it's just really nicely done, this action figure that they made. The only two things against it are the cape. Some people might not like the design of the cape, the way it hangs over the neck and how you pose it. And the boot bracelets, it kind of slides down, or it's tough to pose because it falls down, those things by the boot area. But other than that, it just looks dynamic, has good articulation, and it's a well-made action figure, and it's a good Spider-Man ally to have on your display, and so definitely would recommend it. That's the review. Thanks for watching, and talk to you later.